Alrighty then. To refute one of the first points, when Carter brought up the whole Chinese evidence, he talked about intellectual property. That's usually stuff we do, like stuff you make, like if you made a movie or music. And I guess, yeah, it's costing them money, or it's a threat because people are illegally downloading songs. Big crime, right? Okay, the New York Stock Exchange. He stated that, that's what he said. New York Stock Exchange. He stated that still haven't caught the criminals. So I guess all the surveillance isn't really helping now, is it? He then makes a claim that it's effective and legal because they are now regulating it. Yes, now after the Snowden incidents, pretty much citing what else that they should regulate it. Again, before we knew what was going on, they didn't care if they regulated it. They didn't care if they were breaking laws because no one knew they were. But now that they do, as we stated, they are curtailing it because they're knowingly breaking laws. He also states that if you have nothing to fear, then who cares if they're searching you, right? On a TED Talk by journalist Glenn Greenwald, why privacy is important. He states that privacy is self-exposition outside of the social norms. Basically, privacy, when you are, in a private setting, you get to act how you would normally, or how you would act without the social norms, without people judging you. There's a whole he talks about a whole subset of YouTube videos. You've all seen this. Someone's dancing in their room. They don't know they're being recorded. Normally they wouldn't do that. Or maybe they're saying something they shouldn't, but maybe it's a joke. These people aren't doing anything wrong. They're just acting in a way they would when they're in privacy. Again, if you take away their privacy, they take away their right to self-expression. Also, something Glenn Greenwald talks about is that because this whole nothing to fear about argument has been presented to him many times, what he does is he says, I present people my email address and I tell them to, when they go home, please send me the password to all of your email addresses so I may read and troll through them and post anything I find interesting. After all, if you're doing nothing wrong, then you have nothing to hide, correct? And so I would ask you, how many of you would let me see all of your emails right now? All of your phone calls? Nobody? One out of, how big is this class, 34, 35?
30.
30, 1 out of 30. Amazing. So basically, just because you're not doing anything illegal doesn't mean you don't have stuff you want to keep private. So there is a concern for privacy. He also stated that the NSA, like if my uncle's co-worker was being searched, he stated that I'm being searched because I'm related to my uncle. True, but I'm not related to the co-worker that's doing the crime. Weird. Jessica states that if we're trying to get rid of the NCA, then let's get rid of mail and water and all those kind of utilities. We're not trying to get rid of the NSA. We're just trying to regulate it. We're just trying to regulate the things they can do. So that's correct. They then talk about metadata, which to further explain it, I guess, is. So basically, this is all the small bits of information they get off you. What you Googled, where you Googled from, what you're looking up, all the stuff we talked about previously. And this is very important. This is strange information to get because it paints a distorted picture. Let's say I'm sending a bunch of files over to my friends in Europe because we like sharing music with each other. The NSA just sees this abnormality of, well, someone's sending a lot of files over, maybe we should search them. Again, metadata creates this distorted image of the person that then blames me as, I'm possibly doing something wrong. And there's no real need for it. As for the warrant thing, it's true. They supposedly, they need warrants. That's the Fourth Amendment. Warrants have not been presented, as far as I'm concerned. I don't think anybody's got a heads up that you're not being searched. Usually if the police get a warrant, it's like we have a warrant for your arrest, we have a warrant to search your house. You are let known that you're being searched. None of that happened with this. And one example of that is, and they said that you need a warrant for the, like your phone calls. If that was so, then, oh yes, there was a court order, not a warrant, an order to Verizon that, I quote, this court have found the application of Federal Bureau for order requiring product tangible things from Verizon Business Network. When we have MSI Community Service, Verizon Services are hereby ordered that the external records shall produce a National Security Agency upon service of this order and continue production. Basically, Verizon was told they had to give them all the phone records. They weren't, again, it wasn't a warrant, oh, it's probable that one person in your network is doing it. It's just, give us everything from all your users. And that's fairly unconstitutional. Thank you.